Hey, what is up, guys? Frugal BC here, and we've got a great show for you today. We are going to have on AJ Writes Crypto. He's going to be here in a few minutes to talk some crypto. And I'll tell you, I don't want to give away the game too much, but he passed something up to be here, so I really appreciate that. He'll be coming on in about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, just checking to make sure everything is live. Hope everyone's doing well out there. We are live. You are watching it now on Fuga BC. Like I said, AJ is going to be coming on very shortly. We got a lively chat already, so we're gonna look at the charts really quick. Then we're gonna bring AJ on. So let me just go. Well, let's see. We got some chats. Let's answer some chats. We got Oleg Slutu saying, "What's going on with Algo? Keeps dropping and dropping. Soon might be out of the top 100." Yeah, we can talk about that a little bit for sure. We'll actually look at the charts in a second. I think that might have been an emoji. Jet says, "Let's go." Welcome to the show, Jet. And Jose Oswaldo says, "Hey, Frugo, saludos desde Mexico." I appreciate that, Jose. Thanks for watching all the way from Mexico. And where in Mexico are you from? Mexico is a really cool place. I've been there. I've been to Tulum and Cancun. Went there on a yoga trip. Stayed in town too. I didn't stay in a resort or anything. Excuse me. That's always great audio, isn't it? So interesting. I'm on a different mic, and it seems to be working out. I actually can't tell the difference once I got the settings correct. I actually can't tell the difference between my old mic and my new one. So guys, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe. Oh, from Tijuana, huh? Chihuahua is Jose. Someone else is from Tijuana. So welcome both of you. Welcome to the show. And yeah, we're gonna get into some charts. And before we do that, guys, if you haven't hit that like and subscribe button already, let's get those likes. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so, because we do the experiment here. We try things out and we tell you what works and what doesn't work. I've got a lot of stuff on DeFi. Algorand DeFi has been interesting stuff. So yeah, let's get into. And then we also have channel memberships. You can get videos, obviously not the live streams, but you can get the regular videos earlier than anyone else for only $1. You get it before everyone else, and you'll be qualified to do our new giveaways that we're going to be starting in December. So make sure you have to be a member now to get that in December. We're going to be giving away 1 million Nico. Rams is on board with that, so we're going to be doing that. You have to be a channel member, and it's only a buck. You get 1 million Nico maybe. So go sign up for that. Go check out the channel memberships. Appreciate everyone who's signed up so far. It's been a lot of fun. We got AJ in the background. We'll be bringing him on in a second. I just want to do some quick charts. Let's go look at the Algorand chart. And as you can see, along with everything else pumping in crypto, Algorand has been pumping up too, maybe not to the degree we would like. And I understand it's been moving down the coin market cap charts, and that's a real bummer. I'm pretty bummed about that, to see it be going down in market cap, but it has been going up in price. And if you're heavily invested in DeFi like me, that has been a huge help for those. And you can check out my videos about that, by the way, and how to do that, because I think there's some really great opportunities. I just made one, 3 ways to make money in Algorand outside of price action. And I think you guys should take a look at that. I think there's some really good stuff that we put in there on how to actually make money on this stuff without being so reliant on the price. I also think you should have a lot of crypto, not just Algorand. Algorand's one of my holdings, but mostly it's put to work. The rest of my stuff is kind of being held just to make money. But this Algorand I actually use. And one thing I wanted to point out, the tiny price is going up. That has been really helpful for me. Right now, there's always new ASAs in these charts. And Yieldly going up 22%. What is that? What is that? Why are you guys buying Yieldly? Come on, stop it now. You're just making fun of me now. Okay. You know what? We can talk more about this, but we got AJ in the background, and I want to be respectful of his time and bring him on. So I think he's just about ready. I see him smiling. And here's AJ.
Yo, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, brother?
Dude, you started talking charts, and my brain just started spinning. You know how I am. I actually pulled up the Algorand Bitcoin chart on the is it the 10-day? Yeah, on the 10-day. actually like bullish divergence on the 10-day with hammer reversal candles. I think Algo Bitcoin is very close to a bottom, if not already bottom. That's big.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, I've got all kinds of stuff that I want to talk to you about today.
Sure.
And well, first off, can I share the story about how you came on or what you passed up?
Yeah, you totally can. Why not? Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure like that wasn't
Sure.
like an inside thing. Yeah. So AJ, you've been helping Mario Nafal host Twitter Spaces. Is that
Yep.
correct characterization? And
Over a year now. Yep.
we're over a year. Yeah, that's really
Yep.
impressive. That's
Yep.
awesome. And you were offered one today. You were going to get paid a lot of money, but you came on here instead. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, last week our times got scheduled. You like said one, and I thought in my phone it was 2 or 3, and I blew it, and I felt terrible about that because I'm really punctual about time and stuff. And then like today, it was like there's a kind of a space for Proppy, the RWA project. And he was like, hey, like, can you please do it? And I was like, I can. They were like, we'll pay you double. And I was like, I can't. I told Frugal I'd go on a show. I missed it last week. I felt bad. So there we go. So we're here instead of doing that space. But well, I'd rather do that. You come on my channel a bunch of times. It's been a big help. I appreciate you, man.
Well, dude, I really appreciate that. I would have totally understand. I would never want to cut into someone's paycheck, but hey, I take that as a sign of loyalty. And, you know, some people have asked me like, hey, what do you think about this AJ guy? I go, you know what? He's been nothing but good to me. So
thanks.
I'm a Brooker. I'll never Brooker any ill will toward you because you've been good to me. You've been loyal. You brought me on your show. Yep. I'm probably about a third of the size of you. So I appreciate that. And always happy to return the favor.
Hey, we're all growing. We're all growing every day, especially as we inch closer to 2025. Retail is going to come back. People are going to get excited. And the people that already have their foundational, the blueprints laid, we're going to be the people that kind of absorb the crowd that comes back. So, we're going to grow immensely in this next year. And it's all about just being loud, being, attention is the name of the game. And I think sometimes the general crypto people that watch YouTube, some of them just want like the data, the alpha, tell me what it is and tell me now. But some people, imagine this, want to be entertained. And it is about finding that balance between, kind of being silly, being funny, having good information, but also being like a personality that people would want to have a beer with. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like finding that balance. And, I think a lot of people in crypto YouTube are starting to figure that out more this time around than last time, I think.
Yeah, it's a real balance. And, maybe you can speak to this a little bit, but I noticed, so with YouTube, I try to build my whole channel on intellectual honesty, on looking at the stuff objectively, seeing what works and what doesn't work, because you get told stuff in crypto. There's a lot of stuff that goes around, ISO 20022 was a big one.
That was one, yeah.
If I contributed anything to the crypto ecosystem, I think it was kind of debunking that whole myth.
Yeah,
and I have to give a shout out to JT, because it was his interview with Stacey Warden, the CEO of Algorand, that kind of first brought that out. But it was buried in like an hour interview. I took that and I asked around with some other people and turned it into a bigger story, I think. But I wanted to ask you, because like there's always this I feel like there's this tension between, for YouTube you have to get, you have to like employ a little bit of clickbait, for lack of a better word.
You have
to be splashy, you have to, but then like you're trying to be, then people get mad at you, and like I guess that's just part of the game. But like how do you think about that balance between trying to give people straightforward information, which I think you do?
Yeah,
from what I've seen.
Just because a title can be like clickbaity doesn't mean that there's not good information in the video. Like I know if I'm doing a clickbaity title that there's going to be that one guy in the comments that's like, blah, blah. But to be honest, guess what, bro? You clicked on the video. You watched it, didn't you? Okay, we did it. We did it. Thanks and leaving the comment, good or bad, helps the algorithm. So I'm okay with it. Like, I certainly, you want to be intellectually honest. You want to bring people good information. I haven't put a single video on my YouTube channel that I didn't put my personal stamp of approval on. And that means a lot to me. You know, I did come writing. I was BitBoy Crypto's main writer at the peak of BitBoy Crypto. And I mean, talk about thumbnails with clickbait. You know what I mean? Right. I actually was in charge of naming the videos for over a year, making the titles for the videos. And sometimes I'd put a title in like, nope, it needs to be more aggressive. It needs to be more clickbaity. It needs to get attention. And that's what people, I think it comes back to that, is that yes, every video I put out, I want it to be smart. I want people to learn from it. I want them to take that 1 or 2 or 3 nuggets of information and put it in their satchel or whatever. But at the same time, this is the business of attention. And that has to be a priority unless you want to be a small channel forever. Like, you know what I mean? Unless you prioritize attention, I don't know what else to tell you. You know what I mean? And that's I have always fought for that balance. But I do understand clickbait titles are clickbait titles, but that doesn't mean the video is not good. And you could find a way to tie it in and be like, well, you know, if you're saying, oh, like, will Algorand 10x? Well, let's look into it. That doesn't mean it's going to, but what would the market cap have to be? What would have to happen? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It can be a crazy topic and still be possible in the wheelhouse, you know? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing you learn as a content creator, is that you have to do that. You have to employ that to an extent, and, you know, you have to be able to back it up to an extent. But then it seems like part of it is just sort of ignoring that, like, little tiny percentage of haters that's just gonna kind of hate you no matter what you say, or you know, they're gonna jump on you. It's like, well, you know what, people don't click the video. Here's the truth though. Yeah, I
don't care if people are mad at me. I have very thick skin, bro. I grew up in Philly. There's nothing you can say to me on YouTube that's going to actually get under my skin. And you need to have thick skin if you're going to put yourself out there. You're going to put your face on the internet, and you're going to be a talking head about any topic, let alone crypto, where people get emotionally invested and take out their financial issues on everyone else but themselves. You know, that's going to be a part of it. It's going to be a part of it. People are going to hate. It's probably a small group of people who keep making troll accounts and with no followers that hate you more and more and more. And I know that's definitely a case for me. The Old Hit Network crowd has made thousands of bots to come after me, Ben, and J Chains. It's the thing. And it's just like, at the end of the day, dude, like, controversy loves company. If you commented on the video, that's good for the algorithm. And I've gotten to a point with it where at first it did bother me. It's especially like, I think working for Ben for so long really kind of helped me put it in my mind that, like, no matter what you say, you can't make everybody happy. No, whatever. Like, just make your base happy. If you have a core audience, make them happy. Make content that makes you feel good. Because people are going to hate no matter what. It's only going to get worse as you get bigger. You know what I mean? And it is what it is, dude. But I'm to a point where I've found a certain amount of success, especially in this past year, where I'm just like, yeah, dude, hate me all you want, bro. That's fine with me, you know? Like,
so I've been a journalist for almost 2 decades now, and that's given me a pretty thick skin. So I think that's given me kind of an advantage, because now the YouTube comments just seem kind of funny, because, like, I don't really know the people. I don't, you know, they're not like someone who's like really important in my town. Like, if I'm writing about something locally and they get mad, there might be more implications there. I've had threats of lawsuits and things like that before. So, you know, someone making a mean comment on YouTube usually doesn't get to me. Sure. Every once in a while, it'd be like, I'll get riled up over something.
Put it like this though. People like me and you who are building, working on stuff, always making videos, always on Twitter, always doing our things. Are we taking time out of our days to leave negative comments on other people's pages? Ever? You know what I mean? Like people that are working, people who are successful, don't have the time to be negative in the comments. And if that's the kind of person, if someone is doing that, I know what that feels like. And when I was at that point in my life, I wasn't doing too hot. And I pray for those people, man. They are obviously upset about something, and we are just happen to be the people to take it out on. And I hope they find their way in their own journey, man. That's really what it does come down to me, because all those successful people I know aren't spending their time being negative in the comments. That's for sure.
Well, something I wanted to ask you about too, kind of along those lines is, so got your start at the BitBoy crypto channel, and
Yeah,
that whole thing fell apart. And I don't necessarily want to get into those
sure.
details, but what I always was curious about is like I thought about you during that period because I think we kind of got to know each other while you were still at BitBoy Crypto,
Yeah,
and I was thinking what it would be like to be in your shoes. You started this place, you were there for about a year, is that right?
I worked remote for a year,
Oh, okay.
and then I got asked to come out, and then I came out when they asked me to. Why not? And I worked on location for about a year and a half.
Okay, gotcha. So
Yep.
so probably about 2.5 years total then.
Yep.
I mean, what was it like for you when things kind of fell apart between BitBoy and TJ and all those other guys?
Yeah.
And
So, I mean, not to go too far down the rabbit hole,
yeah,
but it was coming for a while.
okay.
And unlike most people in the office, I actually had a real relationship with Ben
Okay.
because I was his head writer. If there was something that needed to be done, I was the guy writing the video. And I wrote over 380 some videos in 1 year, something like that. Like, we're talking a machine type stuff, dude. And I'm glad that I did that, because while everyone else was like kind of clicked up talking in the office, I had my headphones in, I was writing a video, and I learned all that content. You know what I mean? So I was kind of like, silently really making progress personally about crypto. So as it was coming, I knew that they were lying about, Ben's relapse. That never happened. I know what drug addiction looks like. That wasn't it. I asked Ben straight to his face, hey, are they lying? He said, of course. You know what I mean? I said, well, I just had to ask you man to man. And I believed him. And I still believe him to this day. I mean, he's 30 feet over there, if you want to ask him yourself.
Hey,
we still
BitBoy.
share an office together.
That's cool.
I could just tell that it was a ploy to steal his company. And it's still what's happening. They're still going to court about it. You know what I mean? And I was the only one that left the office and said, you guys are fucking wrong. I'm going to stick by my friend, because unlike you guys, I actually know him because I worked so closely with him writing his videos that
Right.
I just refuse to believe the lie. You know what I mean? And they wanted to, TJ realized I was an asset, and he wanted to give me my own channel there. And basically, they wanted to generously let me keep 30% of all the money and all the sponsors that I brought in. And I was just like, well, like on Twitter, like I already outperformed a couple people you dropped hundreds of thousands of dollars in, and you actually encouraged me to stop getting bigger on Twitter. TJ didn't like that I was making so much progress, like without his help. You know what I mean? He wanted to get in on it. And Ben was like, look, dude, come work for me. I'll pay you until you don't need me to pay you anymore, just to get on your feet. I don't want a single percent of your channel. It's all yours. Get your own sponsors. I'll stop paying you. He paid me for 3 months. And now I've been running, AJ Crypto has been a YouTube channel for a year and 2 weeks now. And dude, I'm a millionaire in 1 year. In 1 year, So and that wasn't even like bull market shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's kind of like I saw the writing on the wall. I saw it was just really cringe how a lot of people handled it and still handle it today. And the truth is, man, there will come times in your professional career where there's a fork in the road, no matter what industry you're in. And I would always completely hear out both sides before you make a decision. And whatever side, go follow your heart and keep your bullshit detector cranked up to 10 all the time. And I obviously made the right decision. Obviously, the street, we're judged by a jury of our peers, right? Well, when that all happened, and we made that video and he jumped out behind me or whatever, like the street spoke. I was judged by a jury of my peers, and obviously they approved of my decision. And people are going to hate, of course they are. Like but the people that hate is a much smaller number of people than the people that have had my back from the beginning. So I am sure. I mean, it is fair to say that, like, Ben and I don't work for him anymore. I haven't worked for him for over a year. Like, I don't write videos for him. I'm not in on his business. He's not in on my business. Like I said, I own 100% of AJ Crypto. But making that jump was the best thing I ever could have done, because if I would have stayed at Hit Network, they would have just kept using me the way they were, man. I wasn't really getting paid well for what I was doing there. Not at all, but I was getting paid in exposure. You know, I was getting paid in experience.
I think you got a good learning opportunity. You were able to see
Exactly.
a major operation from the inside and take a
Yep.
lot of that knowledge into your own thing. I think that's awesome. I'm
Yep.
really excited about
100%.
that, so.
My buddy Mo, even when I first got the job, he was like, dude, you don't need to work for Ben. Just do your own channel. You're already a good enough trader. You already know everything. Like, why are you doing it? I was like, because I was like, all right, I could stay here in Maryland and not learn from the #1 influencer in crypto, or I could be the head writer for the #1 influencer in crypto. Why not learn from the guy who's literally killing it, making more money than everyone else? Like, you know what I mean? It does come down to money a lot of the times, and but it also comes down to making a difference. You know what I mean? Like actually making a change. But when we went on the book tour, that's when things really hit home for me. Because a lot of days in the office, man, I'm just here on this computer right here, going to town, baby, going to town, researching all the things, working. When we went on the book tour, you see the lines of people going outside, waiting to get a picture with Ben. And 9 times out of 10, they also wanted a picture with me. And when we went from city to city to city to city to city for a full month, a little over a month, actually, it really hit me how many people are personally impacted by the work we do every day. That changed everything for me. Because you might feel alone. You might feel like you're by yourself a lot of the times, but you're really not. Because if everyone, you know, when the line goes out the door in every city you go to, you're doing something right. And that's what did it for me. And that keeps me going a lot of the times. If I'm having a bad day, that's what keeps me going.
I mean, I get from you that you have a really strong sense of loyalty, and I definitely appreciate that about you. And
Yep.
you've been loyal to me, and I'll definitely be loyal to you, man.
Totally.
So I want to get back to you know, how you got started in crypto, and then also how you became interested in Algorand, because that was I think that's the reason we connected. Is
Yeah.
I was like, oh no way, there's a guy at Pitboy Crypto that's into Algorand. This is great because I cover this, and I think that's how we ended up kind of touching base. But
yeah,
I kind of want to go back to the whole thing, just crypto in general, and then let's transition to Algorand.
Yeah, sure, man. So I peripherally got into crypto. I lived in Connecticut, and I had a buddy named Eric. I got in a car accident, and I got an $8,000 check from this car accident. And he was like, dude, put the whole thing in Bitcoin. Do it right now. Don't even ask me. Don't even think about it. Put it all in Bitcoin right now. I'm talking 2013, 2014. And I forget, it was one or the other. I forget the exact year. And I was like, dude, I just want to like take my girlfriend out to dinner, bro. Like, you're crazy. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, no way. And if I did listen to him, he'd be worth millions of dollars. And but he always got on me about, dude, you need to get into Bitcoin. You need to get into Bitcoin. Told me, and I'm talking 2013. He was telling me this, and I slowly but surely started looking at the chart. Oh, what is that? What's an RSI? What's a MACD? What's a volume? What is volume? What is that? What's liquidity? What does that even mean? Like, you're kind of going through. I went through the learning phase of it way before I actually really had money to invest. And then I'd probably say like 2016, 2017, somewhere in there, I started buying a couple like Bitcoin, I think like Ethereum, a couple coins that don't even exist anymore. And I made like $60,000, $70,000. And then I proceeded to piss it up against the wall because I never had a big chunk of money like that before. Guys, I grew up racing dirt bikes, but all we did was race dirt bikes. Like, that was my, you know, it took everything my dad had to make that happen. You know what I mean? So like we were privileged enough to do that, but that was it. You know, so I was just like, you know, going to hardcore shows, skateboarding, just like I was just a kid from Philly. You know, I didn't have, you know, friends who were rich. You know what I'm saying? And that came over time, especially living in Connecticut. And Connecticut was a big learning experience for me. And then so basically from there, I slowly got into it more and more and more. And then after I did well, like before 2020, I kind of spent most of that money. And then I kind of started over again in late 2019. I started buying a little bit more, and then I broke my arm racing dirt bikes, like bad. Still have a rod in it today. And by the time my fingers started working, COVID happened. So I had this very long amount of time where I didn't have a job. I was broke off. I was getting stimulus from the government. And I was just like, I'm just going to put this all in crypto. And that was when I started blocking out my days in 1 hour increments from, 7:30 a.m. to bedtime. And I would study, I would read, I would learn, I would absorb, I'd watch every video I could. I would just listen to as many things as I could. And I like binge studied crypto more seriously than any college class. I mean, I got straight A's in college, straight A's in high school. I've always was a good student. And I kind of took that and applied it to crypto, kind of thinking, you're not going to take a test, but the test at the end of the day is how much money you make. And I was just like, I can do this. Like, I know that I can do this. And then, I kind of had a little bit of experience early on, and then I kind of snowballed into this bigger thing. And then it all kind of added up to me getting my job with Ben. And then that was its own experience. That was kind of more of like the content side of experience where I already had the trading background. And then I kind of put those two things together. And then I did have a leg up in terms of exposure because people got to know who I was from tangentially being with Ben. And it kind of created the perfect storm. And it was that was a very short version of the story. I could seriously write a book about the story. There's a lot to it, but that's the short version. So Algorand, so it's important to say that I started off as a trader. I didn't really know much about the under the surface stuff about the projects until I really started writing for Ben. Before I was full-time writing for Ben, I was day trading. I listened to Crypto Face, Benjamin Cowan, and I was in a lot of Discords and Telegrams, and it was all about day trading for me. And I would take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and 3 steps forward and 1 step back. And it took me a long time to really hit my stride with day trading, but you also have to really do it for a while before it really makes sense. You kind of just risk stuff, like being able to risk your risk assessment. That's the biggest deal. And that took time. But so basically I was a trader first, and then I slowly started to learn about the projects. And as the ISO thing kind of started, Ben wanted me to write about them. So Algorand was on that list. And I remember searching Algorand, and I listened to the Lex Friedman interview with Silvio, and that was a big opening for me. And then I was looking at the chart, and then Ben literally the next day said, "Hey, I have to go do this thing. Can you do the portfolio video for me?" And this was the first time he ever asked me to do my own video in place of him. And I was like, "Can I build my own portfolio in the video?" He was like, "Dude, make it 13, 12 minutes long. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just do a portfolio video." I said, "Okay." And that's when I said I was looking at the Algorand chart from being, really recognizing good trade setups. And it was really big bullish divergence, large time frame kind of stuff. It was kind of breaking out from this pattern. There was a lot of volume above it. And I was just like, dude, this thing's probably going to absolutely rip. So Ben had a $5,000 portfolio, and I put $5,000 into Algorand. And the next week it pumped like 40% or something like that. And everyone was like, holy shit, he called it. And that was really my intro to Algorand, was because I called this trade. Everyone was like, okay, come over here. Come hang out with us. And then that's when I kind of learned everything else about the ecosystem. So I certainly got in backwards as hell, but it was still pretty cool how it happened,
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, are you do you strictly hold Algorand for trading, or are you involved in any of the DeFi? And I also wanted to ask if you had any plans around the staking.
Yeah, so with hodling, it's really important as a trader to separate your day trade bag from your hodl bag. You know what I mean? So I certainly have always hodled Algorand. I did do folks finance leverage lockups for a lot of different periods for over a couple of years, at least a year and a half. I did every one for a while. I haven't done it in a little bit. And I also know they're changing how they're going to do staking. So outside of that, I've been like kind of not involved, but like, done a couple giveaways with like Algorand NFT projects and stuff like that. I'm not really too far down the rabbit hole on DeFi in any ecosystem because I'm a day trader. And to be honest, there's not really a lot of leverage liquidity in perpetual markets for Algorand. So day trading Algorand is kind of out of the option unless you're doing like a $1,000 trade, unless you're doing something very small. And so I've always have held Algorand. I've always appreciated how well the project was designed, how fast it is to send to other people. I think as like as a payment network, it probably will do very well. I've always liked the connections, the sponsorships, how much that one kid, man, I forget his name on Twitter, but he's been killing it with these Algorand tweets lately. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I know the account, and he's been posting like these charts that he makes in like these really long. And he posted this one that was like Algorand in 2021 with like one thing under it, and Algorand in 2024 with like all these new sponsorships, all the affiliations, all the Jax, is it Jax?
Jax Hole.
I think so. I feel so bad. I don't know the name off the top of my head, but his tweets have been great. And that's a really good, kind of way to put it. Like, even like when you look at Cardano or look at other projects in crypto, like in 2021, we really just pumped on the promise. Like a lot of these projects were kind of like a fraction then of what they are now. And now it's like they've actually built so far up in terms of like partnerships and deals with DeFi, and if they've done, they have all the smart contract capabilities where they didn't have it before. And now like with staking, so I would honestly, since I hold as much Algorand as I do, I would be fine staking Algorand once what happened. I don't think they've announced how much the ROI is yet or anything like that. I do have an interview next week on my channel with John Allen Woods. I think there should be insight there. John and I are good friends. We talk on the phone probably like once a month or so. And it's good to stay in contact with him. And Mark and I obviously have had a relationship, like interviewing him at Rare Evo and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I think long story short, if any of my friends inside or outside of crypto wants to send crypto to someone else, I'm just like, yeah, do it in Algorand. Just do it in Algorand. That's the best way to do it by far in my book. And then, I'm totally open-minded to staking, but at the end of the day, like I said, like I'm a trader, and I feel like a lot of times in crypto, people kind of get distracted with a lot of other things. If they're not successful trading, like leverage trading, they will like go through the ringer of all the other things to do to make money in crypto, where it's just like, I am good enough at trading that all of that stuff, I'm just like, yeah, okay. All right. Yep. Totally. Yeah, sure. I don't really go down the yield farming rabbit hole. You know what I mean? I just trade, you know what I mean? I trade hot charts. I do very large trades. And that's the game I've been playing for a while now. But I still am absolutely blown away by how good some of these projects are, especially like in like payments type platform. And I think Algorand is at the top of the list in terms of what could replace, like, if you wanted to wire your buddy in Russia 10 grand, right? How much of a fee would you have to pay? How long would it take for him to get it? How much of a fee would he have to pay? Or just send him Algorand. I'll have it in 4 seconds. That's less than 4 seconds now. And that's what I like about Algorand the most. That has been the blinking neon light for me, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. When I went to Dubai in 2022, I had a sponsor cover like probably 3/4 of my trip. And since they were on Algorand, they sent me the money to buy the plane ticket on Algorand. It was like, over $1,000.
Nice.
Took it cost, fraction of a penny, and took seconds to get to me. Took no time at all to get it to Coinbase to convert it. And then, it took 2 days to get from the Coinbase to my bank account. So I think you can see where the speedy part is, and the legacy not so fast part is. So yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely. I think that I've been saying all along that Algorand for me is like the coin. It's the project that I use when I want to actually do stuff on the blockchain.
Exactly.
I have been diving into some of the DeFi and stuff like that. and doing the experiment and showing you, hey, this works, this doesn't. That's kind of my whole game. You know, one of
Sure.
my questions I was going to ask you is what you think the best money or best way to make money in crypto is. I'm guessing you're going to say trading based on our conversation up to this point, maybe.
Well, I think attention is the answer for me, but I think trading equally. Yeah, I think, you know, people kind of dumbfounded with how fast like I came up in crypto, and it's certainly a combination of day trading and attention. Being a content creator can be very lucrative if you know what you're doing, and you have, I mean, I have like a couple, I don't want to call them agents, but I guess you could call them agents. Yeah, I started with one, and then I had two, now I have like four, all people who are, you know, basically, hey, this project wants you to do this. And I'm like looking at the project, and I have become very picky now on who I work with, who I don't work with, and also learn that lesson from Ben too. So it's just kind of like the deal flow has been really strong for me. I make a lot of money doing that in content, which is great. But it's also, yeah, that kind of funds my trading really. And you know, trading, some weeks are really good. Sometimes the charts go sideways. Sometimes, you know, I have kind of split my my day trading bag is probably like 30% of what I hold in crypto, and I would say I'm probably hodling the rest. And I still have a good amount of money in stable coins too. Still kind of like patiently waiting, to be honest. I just did a video last week. I bought $100,000 in crypto on VMEX, and 10,000 of it was Algorand. And I'm probably going to do at least 4 more of those videos to publicly buy 500,000 or maybe 750,000. Haven't made my mind up yet, but I also kind of want to see how the next like month or so develops. It'll certainly be shooting from the hip on those videos. But yeah, man, I think it's really important to separate your day trade from your hodl, because a lot of people say they only have 20 grand to work with, right? All I got is 20 grand. Well, like maybe you shouldn't be day trading unless you have an edge, unless you know what you're doing. Like maybe you should just be hodling. Like it's okay. Or why don't you just day trade with $500? Start small, gain confidence, get the ball rolling. Don't like throw your whole bag into a 5X. Like, you know, and people struggle with making the correct decision because there's so many options. And I really think kind of telling people, no, you know, you got to tell them no. And then like, yeah, so certainly my best ways to make money in crypto are trading and making content, both very lucrative.
I mean, do you think most people should be day traders, or do you think most people should just focus on the macro cycle? And when we're, you know, this time we're starting to hit those all-time highs, and I was building during the bear market just for this myself.
Right.
So for anything outside of Algorand, mostly I'm just buying a basket of, you know, I think they say around 12 assets is usually enough to minimize the downside risk.
Yep.
You know, some of those are it's kind of like venture, where some of those are gonna do okay-ish, you know, some will do pretty good, and then you'll have those couple that just really pop off. I think it's gonna be SWE this time in my bag, and maybe near. I think those two are gonna do really well. But do you think that's what probably most people should do, and certain people who really, really want to dive into it should look at trading?
I think if you want to give day trading a go, do it right. Learn from people who are very successful at it. People like myself, people like BitBoy or Crypto Face. Crypto Face was very instrumental. And one of my best friends to this day on helping me learn to leverage
on your show.
Yeah. He's a really good friend of mine. And, you know, market cipher, having the right indicators, having the right tools. If you're going to build a house, right, well, you're going to have the right tools for the job, aren't you? Well, if you're going to trade crypto, you need to have the right tools for the job. And that's certainly a lot of the game with day trading. I would say if you want to get into day trading, start small, gain confidence over time, but do not sacrifice or potentially sacrifice your bull run gains because you were chasing a short. You know what I mean? Like, don't cut your head off. Don't lose the little money. If you're only working with so much money, don't suffocate yourself by chasing trades. You're probably better off just letting the bull run play out on its own. And even then, man, people will jump in, jump out, get distracted, chase the pumps. And it's just kind of like, look, I say the more coins you hold, the less. I would say for most people, 8 to 10 coins, nothing more. Every time you go past 10 coins, it's like adopting another baby. And for every baby you have, it needs attention. You need to care for it. You need to treat every coin you hold like a baby. And you need to know the tokenomics. You need to know the emissions. You need to know its tendencies, how the chart reacts, what happened last time. Because all the coins, you're very rarely going to sell all your coins on the same day. It's not how it works. So if people can properly manage more than 10 coins professionally, that's one thing. But if you are just trying to make money in crypto, you don't really know much about it, you're just here for the bull market macro cycle, I would say, 8 to 10 is probably the sweet spot. And the number, I mean, check the video, I just bought 100K. That's a pretty strong portfolio, my opinion.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I wonder what, I'm trying to think of a good way to say this, because I mean, obviously you're not going to give a master class in the short time we have, but I wonder if there's certain technical indicators that you think are more effective than others. If there's like a couple you'd want to highlight that people could maybe look at if they wanted to get started in this. And then, and then I also wanted to make the point that, and before we get to that, that a lot of this stuff, like it's not 100%, right? Like the idea is like these work more than 50% of the time. Is that the idea? Or
so first of all, I'm writing a class, about a 15-hour 12-module course that will be on verified investing. I'm basically going to be the face of the crypto branch of VI, and verified investing is Gareth Soloway, if you know who Gareth Soloway is. And so that course is hopefully going to be filmed next month, and it will hopefully be available early 25, which is will be my masterclass. I do have a Telegram group that I put my trades, personal charts up just about every day. You can send me an email at ajalphagroup@gmail.com if you want to get on that. In terms of what you're asking me, it's important to understand that no two trades are the same, and you need to understand the environment you're in. If you're a general and you're going to war, you're not going to have the same tactic in a forest that you would have in a cave or on a cliff or in an open field. Every battle is going to have its own tactic. You need to understand the environment you're in and what works best in that environment. That's thing one. Thing two, it's never just one indicator. Market Cipher helps me a lot. Yes, it does. It shows me the money flow. It has the RSI. It shows the oscillator, has a dual band strength index, all those things. But you also need to know what's the most important level on the chart. Where are the most important support resistant levels, and are they aligned or striated with the volume profile? Because you are talking about if a price is going up, is it skipping a node or is it chasing the volume? That's a big thing, something you have to differentiate. And also, I would say for people getting started, develop an EMA strategy. My EMA strategy is based off the 12-minute chart. I am very good on the 12-minute chart on an EMA strategy.
Was EMA?
Estimated moving average.
Gotcha.
Yeah, EMA. So basically, it's never about one indicator. It's about confluence. So remember, you need to know the environment. You need to know the pattern. You need to know the likelihood of which way this pattern generally breaks in the history of all charts ever. And then you need to compare if this thing breaks the way you want it to with the volume profiles and the oscillator, how far is it likely to go? And say, okay, say I'm projecting this move from, say, I'm going to say it's going to break through this support resistance level because there's a low volume node. We could have a 6% target. Well, guess what? If a move is 6%, if you get 2%, high five, great job, nailed it. The problem with traders and with people in crypto is that they're greedy. They're very greedy, which is why a lot of people buy green and why a lot of people sell red, because they don't know what they're doing. All right. And the problem is with day trading specifically, especially when people get into it for the first time, they say, oh, it bottomed here and topped here. That was an 18% move. You're never going to get that whole 18%. You're never, ever going to perfectly buy the bottom and perfectly sell the top. The money's made in the middle. And if they're, like I said, there's an 18% move. If you got 3% of that move up top, baby, let's go.
Real.
Lock and load, rinse, repeat. Like that, being able to tactically just knock out 3%, 4%, 3%, 2%, 1%, 3%. That's how you make money. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Increase leverage, increase capital as you go up the hill. If you're trying to squeeze the most juice out of the fruit every time, you're never going to win. You're always going to just be chasing. You're never going to win.
Well, that's fair, and that's what I've been telling people as we approach the second half of the bull market. It's like, hey, start taking some profits on the way up. You're never going to call the top. It's just not going to happen. I've done it. I've been through it. This is my third cycle. And I've never been a trader. I've always been just buy it, and then in fact, I was like a really low information, like especially my first one I bought in like 2017, and all of a sudden it started going crazy. I was like, wow, this crypto thing's wild. I was like, and then I started seeing some really crazy behavior, like people taking out loans to buy crypto, to buy Bitcoin and stuff. And I'm like, and I didn't know about the cycles and stuff, but I just thought, oh, that seems crazy. I'm gonna like, I'm gonna lock in my wins. I got like I'm up like 1,000% or whatever.
Right.
I'm like locking in those wins, and I'll just kiss off. But I didn't buy back in. That was my big mistake the first time. Buy back in. Just took that money and called it good. So,
well, as a day trader, it is important for me to I have a very elaborate exit strategy, and that is a video that will come on my channel when the time is right. But it's also for me, I can make money either direction. So, but for my hodl bags, it's like I said, the separation between hodl and trade. And when that happens, the hodl bag is gone. And I'm only left with my day trade bag. And it's very important to know how to separate those two things. And I know I said that a couple times during the show, because especially for people that aren't working with that much money, it's the most important concept. You cannot, it's like when you get, I'm sure you've gotten this message before. Hey, AJ, I'm new to crypto. I bought $10,000 of whatever coin, and I want to hold it for the bull market, but it just pumped 20%. Should I take profits? It sounds to me, sir, like you didn't make a plan before you bought the coin. So for each coin you have, you need to know your average entry. You need to know your price prediction, and then you need to differentiate your price prediction from your personal target. And most of the time, my personal target is way below my price prediction. If I 5x any coin in my bag, I'm gone, baby. I'm gone. I'm gone. I'm out. You know what I mean? And at that point, I will sell 70, 75% of the bag at 5x. I'll leave the other 25% in, because if I'm wrong and it 20x's, well, that 25% of my bag 20x's. If it goes the other way, I'm going to sell it at a 4x. That's it. It's one or the other. It's either going to run and I'm going to be okay with that, or I'm going to 4x 25% instead of 5x. And at that point, I mean, and for me, this bull run is extremely important, especially with the plans I have for content in the future. I want to become the Mr. Thank You of crypto. I am literally talking to some of my people about giving away a Tesla a month for a year. Dang. It's a conversation that we're having right now. That's awesome. I want to become the Mr. Thank You of crypto. And there is a big difference between $1 million and 50. Big difference. Yes, so, I mean, this bull run for me is certainly, it's a test of how much I'll be able to invest back into crypto. I mean, I make north of 10, 20 million. Most of it's going to go back into content. Most of it's going to go into hiring a team, being like, I literally have contacts with like very large sports, of like sponsoring, like being a title sponsor for sports and doing commercials and giving away dirt bikes. And like, dude, I have like all of this stuff planned, but it's all hinging on, okay, well, you made $1 million this year. Great. But how many more can you make? So that it's all in my hands. That's the thing I love most about crypto, is that my fate is in my hands. And the thing that I hate most about crypto is that my fate is in my hands. So right. I understand that. So that's where we are, man. I do want to. No one has really broken out of crypto in terms of influencers. There are big names and there are celebrities that have tangentially been in crypto, but not one of us has really like broken out. That's what I'm trying to do. I want crypto. Let's make crypto cool again. That's kind of my job. And if I could give away like Teslas and dirt bikes and money and crypto and whatever, and like be known for doing that. I mean, look at how Mr. B started. Well, I gave $5,000 to a homeless guy. You know what I mean? Like, if that type of stuff, people love that kind of content. And I also, it's about attention, and it's about being like, damn, that guy was able to do that because he got into crypto, and really telling that story with like the humble beginnings that I've had. I want to do more than just sit on a beach with my feet up, bro. Whatever I may end up really walking away with, I want to put it back into the people, back into my community, that's my goal. You know what I mean? And I'm basically not going to stop until it happens.
That's awesome, man. So you came out pretty vocal in favor of Trump.
Hell yeah.
I assume a lot of that was based on how crypto markets reacted. And I want to ask you, like, how do you think crypto would have responded between the two candidates? What's the difference, do you think, between those two?
I want to start off by saying that, like, Trump's not perfect. He definitely worried a lot of people the first time around, but he also wasn't Hitler the first time around. And a lot of people kind of want to act like, oh, all your rights are going to be torn away, and oh, he's Mussolini. Well, he didn't do that the first time he was president. Actually, the first time he did pretty damn well, and they throw his name against the shitboard over numbers that happened because of COVID. So it's like I cannot stand deceit. Mm-hmm. When someone says something, but they really mean another thing, I can't stand that shit. Yeah. And that is all the left did. Name me like what Kamala's plan was to get out of national debt. What was it?
Well, what I thought was interesting, Mark Cuban on the All In podcast had come out and said that, and I, take it for what it's worth. He said that he brought up Gary Gensler to Harris's team, and Harris's team said something along the lines of, "Hey, look around. Do you think anybody's a fan of him?" My sense, and, again, I don't know if he was being honest or not. It could have been,
sure. So to answer your question,
value, I think it would have been. It made me wonder, like, is Gary Gensler out either way? And I did think it was interesting that both sides were kind of starting to signal at least some change in how they were approaching crypto. Trump came out, I think, much stronger toward crypto. Yeah, but I do think that signaling was very interesting.
So I think that the Kamala administration would have been more of the same. What did she do for crypto during her time as vice president? All I remember is Wells notices and court dates. Yeah. That's all I remember. And then she's going to try to say, oh, like, we're going to shift our position. And then the next day, Gary Gensler puts out a Wells notice to OpenSea, not to mention the smoking chicken fishing club. Like, what is happening? So it's literally like, you guys are full of shit. Let's admit that their stance on crypto, full of shit. That's fine. And like, honestly, I think crypto would have been fine if she won. We are slashing interest. We just had a 50 bit pivot, 25 bit slash follow up just yesterday. Mm-hmm. The M2 money supply is growing. China is entering phase of quantitative easing. Japan, countries in Europe, the world is entering a phase of quantitative easing. M2 is going up, crypto goes up. That would have happened regardless of who was in the White House. I believe that. But crypto specifically, Gary Gensler out, Hester Pierce out. We also have the Senate. We also are able to make a change. Trump has been vocally pro-crypto. He's had 2 different NFT drops. I was there at Bitcoin Nashville. It was on my birthday. And he wants people to make money in crypto. He's literally talking about having no crypto tax. No crypto tax. Imagine he realizes that pushing innovation offshores is just giving the money to the people who hate us. You know what I mean? That's not, the days of the Wells notices and his XRP as security, that's all dead. That's all over. It's actually like we had the bull run in 2021 that we had with the grim reaper of regulation over our backs. We've never had a bull run ever without the fear of regulation. Would have crypto pumped with Kamala in the White House? Sure. But the regulation BS would have been the same exact thing as what has happened. Let's not forget, she's the vice president right now. Right. Nothing would have changed. Nothing would have changed. Yeah. And as basically a one issue voter, Trump, all day long down the street. Don't care who doesn't like it. Do I think he's perfect? No. Would I like to see 2 new faces? Yes. Am I against the Democratic Party because I hate them? Absolutely not. I actually lean left on a handful of issues, but my career is in crypto. I want to sustain this career. I don't want to move to Dubai. And I thought about it. So it's kind of just like, and I'm still paying pretty serious taxes, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like I could buy a mansion in Dubai or give this amount of money to Uncle Sam. Well, guess what, guys? I gave that amount of money to Uncle Sam, and it hurts me to do it. But it's in the same breath. That is the game. You got to play the game by the rules, but the rules are changing, and they wouldn't have changed this drastically with Kamala in the White House. And I don't hate Democrats, but on this topic, hey, scoreboard, baby, scoreboard.
It's a real surprise to me. I guess I didn't, maybe I didn't think it through enough, but I was kind of surprised that the left went so hard against crypto. And so I think the right, kind of embraced it just because the left went against it sometimes, but it also does kind of go to sort of a libertarian mindset. So I could see that happening. I guess it kind of surprised me because it seemed like a retail movement. And but there has been a pretty significant realignment of the political parties, which is really, really interesting, especially if you've been keeping track of them as long as I have. Like stuff like free speech used to be like a stalwart of the left, and now it's become almost a right-leaning thing. And I'm just free speech no matter who. I don't care who
for sure
doesn't like it. I just operate on that principle. But anyway, I want to be respectful of your time.
No, I just want to follow up really fast. I just did a quick Google here. According to security.org, when I just Googled how many Americans hold crypto, cryptocurrency awareness and ownership rates have increased to record levels. 40% of American adults now own crypto. I think that number might be too high, but it is crazy to see that just from a simple Google. From 30% in 2023, this could be as many as 93 million people. And this is what I'm going to tell you why the left went so hard on crypto, because the normal guy, regardless of how much rhetoric they say about the opportunity economy. Well, they said a lot of rhetoric before, and no one felt it at home in their pockets. No one. And I know what it's like to be broke. I know all about depression and not knowing what I'm going to do. How are we going to pay the rent? What do I got to pawn? I've been there, dude. I know what it feels like. It sucks. And the normal average Joe is not supposed to climb up the ladder. They're not supposed to do it. That's why the left hates crypto. Who else is, if everyone figures it out and makes all this money, who's going to work in the factories? Who's going to work at McDonald's? Who's going to do all the things that no one else wants to do? If there's a way out, crypto is a way out for a lot of people. At least it was for me. I was not supposed to have this kind of success. If someone would have told me where I would be 10 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and been like, "You're right, bro. Yeah, right." So it's a fuck you to the legacy. That's why the left tried to suppress it. Who's going to buy bonds? Who's going to do all the things we need you to do if you guys are all in crypto world? It is a big middle finger to the legacy, and the legacy tried to give it back. It didn't work.
I think some of the signaling is that they started to see those numbers too, and I think that's why they started signaling crypto support. But yeah, like you said, the proof is in the pudding. At some point, you have to actually make changes, and we haven't really seen that from the Democrats. And maybe we would going forward. I don't know, but
they're going to have to. They're going to have to realize that. Say a Democrat wins the next election. Are they just going to turn around everything Trump did, like they did with the border this time? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are they just going to reverse all the crypto rules? Like, the truth is that Gary Gensler tried to regulate crypto from securities laws written in the 1930s by Thurgood Marshall that were there over oranges. Oranges, bro. Like, crypto needs its own rule book. Its own rule book written by people who know what they're doing. And I that's above my pay grade. Go talk to the Cardone brothers. Go talk to Shibtoshi. Go talk to people that see the impact on a bigger level than even me. And like, I think that we're going to have that conversation, bro. I was at Bitcoin Nashville and I talked to a couple people. Actually, it was $40,000 to get a photo with Trump. I thought about it and I actually kicked myself in the ass for not doing it. I should have done it. I had the money. I don't know why I didn't do it. I was just like, damn, 40 G's for one selfie? Like that. That's a lot. That's a lot. I should have done it though. I should have done it. The point is that I talked to a couple people, and that line was long. Trump took a lot of pictures at Bitcoin Nashville, and all of these people asked Trump, please don't hurt us regulating all coins. No cryptos are securities. Cryptos it needs to be regulated on its own because it's a new cutting edge technology. All of those things were said to Trump, and Trump told these people, don't worry about your crypto. Don't worry about your crypto. I was told that by several whales that Trump told them all the same thing. Don't worry about your crypto. That's big, dude. Like, very big. I mean, that's where I'm at with it, man.
Awesome.
That's where I got to be. You know,
well, since we mostly focus on Algorand, I have to ask, I know I came on your channel and gave my price prediction. Maybe you can give people your price prediction for Algorand in this bull run and when you think it's going to probably happen.
Yo, so I've actually kind of tottered back and forth on my Algorand price prediction. I do have the video I made on my channel at AJs Crypto. Definitely go check out that video if you haven't already. I do stand behind that number, although I just like I was nervous going into the election and Trump won and everything's fine. That's probably going to be the same thing when it comes to price predictions, man, because like right now it seems so far away. It seems so unattainable that I'm just like discouraged. But at the same time, go back and look at 2021. Go back and look at the injection of money that went into altcoins in 2021. In January 2021, Cardano was 6 million. Algorand was like Cardano was 6 billion. Algorand was 1 billion. Doge was 1 billion. And by March, Cardano was 38 billion. Algorand was like 7 and Doge was like 7.5 in a couple weeks, basically. When we see that injection again, that is really going to be when we know how wild it's going to get. Most of the time, bull runs pump in the span of like 130, 180 days, like the amount of ARK. You know what I mean? Could this one be longer given favorable regulation, accessibility from institutions, stuff like that? Maybe. I am still sticking to the Bitcoin halving cycle, which is saying Q3, Q4 next year. That has been right every time. Until that breaks, I'm going to go into next year as if that's the Bible. Until the day it's not the Bible, it's the Bible. When there's a pattern, stick to the pattern until the pattern breaks. That's how I'm going into it. Some people are saying April. I think they just want it to be April. I think it's going to be probably later this time next year.
It was interesting. I looked at I went back through the charts for Algorand and some of the other coins too. It seems things seem to kind of kick off for Algorand around February, and there was kind of a run up and then a pullback, and then around the I think it was around September is when it started to really pop off. So you almost had it like almost in two parts where that came out. I thought that was really interesting. But I think your number was about $1 more than mine, as I recall.
Yeah, I believe I was 2 to 3.
Oh, maybe you're right on with mine then, actually.
Or did I? So how I do price predictions is that I give a range. I might have said 2 to 4.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I know the previous all-time high is 282, if my memory serves me correct. Like and I do want you to think about how much harder it is for Algorand to get to that number now, considering how much the supply has grown from the day it was 282 to how it is now. The market cap has to work a lot harder. And to be honest, guys, right now, it's 12 cents. Algorand goes to $1.20. You're not taking profits.
Yeah.
Like, really? Like, you know what I mean? And there's a big difference between my price prediction and when AJ's selling. And that has to be, discussed. And to be fair, can I show you my chart really quick?
Yeah.
All right. Let me go to share. I understand. I'll go. Okay. So this is basically, can you see it? Okay. Yep, so this is just basically normal Fibonacci from the swing low in 23 with where we are now to the 2024 high. And this 786 Fibonacci level, we are very close to reclaiming it. And that has kind of been like the difference maker, where this line right here would kind of separate value area high from value area low. And when you look at where value area high starts is right around 16 cents. It's actually like high 15s, but 16 cents has always been the number for me of where Algorand begins to take off. Not to mention it's directly support resistance from this low back here. So when you see Algorand get above 16 cents, I hope you bought a lot before 16 cents, but once it gets to 16 cents, that's when it's going to run. Not to mention we have a lot of kind of volume in here, even up to like the 23 cent range. And dude, keep in mind, this is a weekly chart. Look at this: anchor wave, trigger wave. As the price is falling down, the oscillator's pushing up. Once this here on Market Cipher prints a green dot right there, that will be a confirmed bullish divergence on a weekly chart. Larger the time frame, the more significant the information. So I also just really fast want to show you how I like to make projections. So I like to use something called a Ganfan, also known as Gan theory. So basically you get a trend angle line and you pull that from the swing low of the last cycle, and then you make it exactly a 45-degree angle, 44.96, close enough. And then you come down here on the left. Oh, that's fib. 1 second. Right here, you click Ganfan. You pull this and you align the 1-1 level, which is the white line, with the 45-degree angle. And that is a rough, that's a little, I didn't draw it perfect, but that's about, I got to fix the back end. Hold on 1 sec. I didn't align it good. That's better. So that's about the projection of Algorand from this cycle. You could draw another one from the low back here and lay them over each other, but that's kind of more of a headache. But honestly, the point is, okay, so we're looking at this weekly chart. Here's a projection. We actually broke down out of the Ganfan here. Let me get rid of my volume profile. All right. And so if we're going to say, okay, October, so this would be September 25 here, and this right here would be the beginning of 2026. So depending on which GON level it ends up fighting towards, where the 1-1, this blue line here, right here, this is the most important level, which represents the 45-degree angle. I want to let me right here. This is the 1-1. And as you can see, we did fight the 1-1 for a while. And we do have a lot of work to do in terms of GON theory. But you really could be anywhere from 29 cents to 77 cents if we respect the 1-1 of the GON, which is a pretty far hike from here. In the event we explode, I mean, the top of the 2-1s, $1.48, and anything past $1.48 is insane in terms of probability based off GON theory. To be fair, I've seen charts with a Ganfan that go blap. It does happen. It's just rare. So so that kind of gives you a good idea of where things could go to. But to be fair, GON theory, you can take the screen. Sure. You can take the screen down. Yep. GON theory is it's just a tool that measures the relationship between angles, price, and time. It's not it's not the Bible. It's just a projection. It doesn't mean this is all it can do. It's just a tool. And when you really consider, okay, the market cap for Algorand is less than $1 billion, it doesn't really take that much for Algorand to double, triple, 4, 5 in terms of money in. So that would be the asterisk I put next to the Ganfan. It could very well outperform GON theory. That's just a projection to keep people pragmatic,
Yeah, no, it's really interesting stuff. And I think I'll probably rewatch that and take a look at that more closely, because I thought that was pretty interesting. Well, AJ, I really appreciate you coming on. I think we had a lot of fun today. I covered a lot of good ground. And is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that we didn't mention?
No, we basically covered all the bases, man. First of all, I just really want to appreciate you, dude. Your channel is really cool. You put up a lot of really good information. It's always packed full of like all the details that people need to learn. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to your audience. I appreciate you having me on, being so kind over the years. It means a lot to me. To everyone else, for sure, bro. And to everyone else, man, stay tuned. If you're out there, right now is the time to take extra hours, to work overtime, to take a second job, to do whatever it is you have to do to make it happen. There are people in the world that will give you every reason why they can't do X, Y, or Z. And then there are people that make sacrifices and jump over every obstacle that's put in front of them, regardless of how hard they fall midair. It's up to you. And if you want it bad, you'll get it bad. Get rich or get wrecked. That's all I got, brother.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks so much for coming on.
For sure.
Great. Guys, go check out AJ's channel. He's he's super awesome, and you're gonna learn all that trading stuff that I don't really cover. That's AJ's realm, and he's got it on lockdown. So
thanks.
I appreciate that. I appreciate all the good, all the kind words, and all the help you've given me. And yep, you've got a loyal friend in me, my friend.
Good stuff, man. I appreciate you. Definitely one of the Algo fam's finest, in my opinion. The Algo fam, you're on the Mount Everest of Algo fam. You're certainly on that. You're one of those heads to me, bro. So I appreciate you, bro.
All right. You take care, man.
Smash the likes, everybody. Subscribe to the channel. See ya.
See ya. Oh, that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I really liked AJ. I have a lot of fun having him on. He's a good dude. So, I appreciate all the stuff he does, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Man, we had at one point at least over 100 people on the stream, so very cool. Ice Age says BC a real one. I appreciate that. Yeah, so like and subscribe if you haven't already, and look into that channel membership, because for $1, I said this earlier in the stream, but for $1 you can get our videos before anyone else. You get them early, and you will qualify for the giveaways we're doing. We're going to do 1 million Nico in our December giveaway. So keep an eye out for that. Check that out. And guys, if any of you are on Kick, I'd love to get you to follow me on Kick. Even if you end up watching here, I want more people on Kick. So it's just kick.com/frugalbc. And a big shout out to our sponsor, Non-Fungible Domains, by the way. If you want that .algo address, that's one of the best ways to do that. It just makes using things in Algorand so much easier. So be sure to check that out. Otherwise, yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. Share the video with other people as well. And otherwise, I'm Frugal BC. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the future.